Joining me right now on Kumite Radio is Daron Cruickshank. He'll be fighting on September 30th at RIZIN 13 versus Diego Brandao. What's going on, Derek?
Not too much. Just got to practice and ready to eat some dinner.
All right, well, I won't be too long then. You have 3 straight KO finishes. Your last fight at RIZIN 11 versus Tom Santos, I believe, arguably your most devastating performance for the promotion. Do you agree with that notion?
You know what? I feel like, yeah. I'm just getting better with age. And, I'm starting to relax more and get my range and just feel guys out and then go to town. So, yeah, I'm like wine,
Well, competing for RIZIN, the promotion, they don't really emphasize too much on championship belts. And you mentioned that you feel more relaxed. Does that dynamic allow you to be more free in the ring?
100%. If you're all tense, you're constantly worried about other things and what they're doing. You wear yourself out. And, like if you're so tense, you're not as fast and you just get tired so fast. So, I've been pretty relaxed and comfortable, been running a lot, grappling, wrestling, always striking. And I just feel ready for this fight.
Since your UFC tenure, you have went 5-2. What are the biggest differences you see in yourself as a fighter?
Since the UFC?
Yes.
Well, I really feel like mentally, it's my dog. I know that I fought like at the highest promotion against the best guys in the world. And I really think that I bring that also to RIZIN. Like I am one of the best guys in the world. And so my confidence is always growing. You can get cracked and you can, fall on your face, but it doesn't happen often with me.
Is it better for you to be fighting on the other side of the world? Because when you were fighting in the UFC, there's a lot of promotion, a lot of hype, and a lot of guys that you're fighting, you've seen their fights. Is it better for you to not really know much about your opponent?
You know what? I rarely ever study my guys. So like the difference between the UFC and RIZIN, it's not much difference for me because I watch guys' fights a little bit before I say yes, and then I have all my coaches and my teammates watch them so they can mimic and stuff like that. But I'm not so into watching guys and studying because you know what? If you do that, you always put them on a pedestal, and then you mentally like, oh man, he's so good at this. And you know what? It's always different when they're standing right in front of me, if they can wrestle or grapple or strike, because I really feel like there's not a whole lot of guys out there that fight like I do, that move like I do, and it's really hard for them to have their teammates mimic me because I'm different. So, yeah.
You are different, and a guy that comes to mind, a young guy that's coming up right now is MVP, Michael Venom Page. When you watch him fight, what is your assessment of him?
I think he's young, and he is athletic. But I feel like I was really wild when I was younger, like at his age, because, you feel like you're invincible. And that's kind of like I used to fly through the air and run across the cage and, try to do like smoke people and stuff. But, now I'm like that old bull, and there's a time and a place to do that. And I'm, so I feel like I've really became my own and I've learned from all my mistakes and now you're getting the best of me.
Your next opponent, Diego Brandao, you guys competed on the same card a few months back. What did you think about his performance against Kitaoka?
It was a good performance. He wasn't afraid of what's names, like grappling or anything like that. I mean, Diego is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's been doing it forever. So that's really where I see him trying to take the fight. I see him trying to take me down, and he'll do his thing on his feet. He'll chuck bombs, and I think he'll get frustrated when he can't hit me, and then he's going to be looking to shoot. So his last fight was a good fight for him, but I'm not that opponent. I feel like I'm a lot more dangerous in different areas. So we'll see.
While you were there together during fight week, did you have any interactions with Diego?
Actually, yeah. I mean, we rode on the bus back from the hotel, and he was cool. He wasn't like he like real respectful, not like a dickhead or anything. So nothing bad to say about him. I mean, now I'm fighting him, but actually the funny thing is as we're driving back from the arena to the hotel, Cody looked at me and was like, "Hey, you're probably gonna fight him next," and it's happening.
What's the biggest difference fighting for RIZIN when you're fighting a Japanese fighter compared to fighting another international fighter?
Well, definitely, when you come into a different country and you're fighting one of the countrymen, I mean, you can't expect anything other than, they want you to lose. So it is kind of nice that I'm coming in and I feel like I have a bigger fan base there. So as the international fighter that we're both international fighters, I actually have the bigger fan base there. So that's awesome.
You both are similar in height. You're a little bit taller, but you have a 8-inch reach advantage over Diego. How much of a factor will this play, in this fight with the type of arsenal you possess?
I didn't even know that. 8 inches?
Yeah.
And that's a lot. That's a lot. That's not even including my feet. My feet are real long.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, I'm going to basically play the outside game. He's going to try to push into me, throw his haymakers like he does on a lot of people. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be there for him to hit me. I'm going to get out, get in, crack him, get out, get back in, crack him, wait for a shot, hit him on the inside. I don't think his wrestling is as good as mine. I am an All-American. I took a All-American status as top 10 in the country in college. I took second my sophomore year. So I don't really see his wrestling or the ability to get me on the ground going to be so effective. But you never know, and I'm prepared for whatever he can bring to me.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people forget your wrestling credentials since you are so deadly on the feet.
Yeah, well, those credentials are what gives me the ability to keep it on my feet and crack people.
Diego, right, has been around for a while, so there's a lot of footage on him, inside and outside the cage. He's kind of a peculiar character. What do you believe is his biggest flaw?
He gets emotional. He gets emotional in fights, and I feel like he probably gets emotional in his just general life. I'm not sure the story or whatever, but I feel like somebody told me that he like pistol whipped somebody or something at a bar. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't there, so but I see that as being aggressive and not being able to control his temper, and that's ultimately going to get you in trouble, just like it got you in trouble in regular life.
Diego, he's a featherweight, right? And he moved up to lightweight since being cut by the UFC, but he has fought many of the top guys in the world. What does a win over him do for your career moving forward?
Oh, it's a great name to take out, and I'm rolling. I got the snowball effect. I'm winning. I'm knocking dudes out. I'm finishing fights. So, this is going to be a lot of leeway after I knock him out.
You do have setbacks against Yusuke Yachi and Satoru Kitaoka. Do rematches with these popular Japanese fighters interest you?
I could rematch him. Maybe towards the end of the world, end of the year. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Anytime I've ever rematched somebody in wrestling, I always beat them.
You mentioned that, in another interview that you will be a free agent by the end of the year. Do promotions like the UFC and Bellator interest you more being a free agent?
You know what? That's you know, I really don't know what to say about that. I mean, when it comes at the end of the year. But, you know, I'm not right now. I'm still committed to RIZIN, and they, like I said, they treat me well. They, you know, they've been putting me on shows, so that's always good. And they're becoming a bigger promotion. So we'll see what happens in, you know, towards the end of the year in December. And if, you know, if we can come to terms to something sweet and I'm still kicking ass, it'd be really good for me. I do, you know, I do appreciate everything they've done to me or done for me, but, you know, I got to go to the biggest money.
You're a prize fighter, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, one more thing before I let you go. Nowadays, fighters are involved in other ventures inside and outside of MMA. Do you have anything going on you would want to promote?
Well, I mean, I own Michigan Top Team, the gym that I train at, and we've been open for 5 years. So I can always promote that. You know, I recently basically became a professional shooter. I started shooting at national matches. So, you know, not local matches, like big shooters fly from all over the country to shoot these matches. And my first national match was about a month ago, and I took 9th out of 250 pro shooters and 500 shooters total with the amateur guys. So that's a pretty good showing for my first national match. So maybe when I retire from fighting, eventually, I'll be shooting a lot.
So right now, currently, yes, you're holding, and currently you are basically the Deion Sanders of MMA.
Yeah.
All right. It's always good talking to you, Daron. September 30th, RIZIN 13, a big fight versus Diego Brandao. Thank you again, and I'll see you at RIZIN.
Awesome. Thank you.